Without a doubt, the Lagoon 620 is the most successful catamaran in the 60-foot class. There have been more of these built than probably any other make model combined during the 10-year almost production run. It's a very versatile boat, which has lended to its popularity, available in a 4-cabin, 5-cabin, or in the case of Sail Away, a 6-cabin vessel. My name's Wiley Sharp with Catamaran Central. Welcome to St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and I'm so proud to welcome you all aboard Sail Away, the 2015 Lagoon 620. We're going to begin today's tour here on the starboard weather deck. As we make our way forward, we've got really nice grab rails on the inboard side at a nice height. You'll also see the robustness of the standing rigging, which is what keeps this 101-foot air draft mast well secured while under sail. You'll also see as we continue forward, all of the hatches are flush mounted through the deck and the lifelines are nice and high. And just the width of this weather deck makes it feel incredibly safe and secure making our way up to the foredeck. The first thing that really pulled my attention coming up on the foredeck is the web-style trampoline. Now, this is not what's normally found on a Lagoon 620, but reported by the crew, they love it because they find it to be far more comfortable as well as sturdier to walk on than the tighter grid pattern netting usually found on a catamaran in this class. Starting up here at the Seagull Striker, there's a lot going on with this longeron. We've got two Profurl electric furlers, one for the Genoa and one for the jib. We've also got the anchor roller, which is above deck, and we also have a spinnaker halyard for if you were to add or supplement the sail plan with a downwind sail. Starboard forepeak is currently being utilized as storage, and the port forepeak, while they're using it as storage, is an air-conditioned crew cabin with ensuite head. Continuing aft from the trampoline, we've got these nice large day beds, as well as the forward seating supplemented with these 5 beanbag chairs forward, which is always one of the most popular places to be on a cruising catamaran. And then rounding out the space, we have the anchor locker here on the starboard side, as well as copious storage outboard of that and 2 large lazarettes over on the port side. The captain has said that this boat has really had good bite when he's gone to anchor, and he actually prefers anchoring over a mooring ball any day of the week because of that. And then directly below this beanbag here is the electrical compartment, which houses the 21 kilowatt Onan generator, the battery bank, as well as a lot of the electrical components for Sail Away. Let's go ahead and make our way down the port weather deck and check out the first of 2 mechanical spaces. Inboard of the grab rail and steps here, there's a really nice simple storage solution which really helps keep the deck organized. Now on the port transom here, there's a couple things going on. First thing is we have a capstan on the outboard side. You'll see that's mirrored over on the starboard side. We also have the shore power hookup as well as storage below that. Now under where I'm standing right now is the first of 2 mechanical rooms on board Sail Away. The boat's equipped with Volvo D3 150s paired to folding props. And here in the port engine compartment, we also have the Northern Lights 14 kilowatt generator, which just gives you an added level of redundancy in the electrical system. We have nice gradual steps down to the water in the sugar scoop, as well as a tender lift hydraulic platform and the extrusions housing the 2 life rafts on board the vessel. She's also equipped with an oversized Highfield Tender with a 70 horsepower outboard, allowing all of the guests to go ashore in one trip, which is a really nice feature for a boat this size, having such a large tender. We're going to make our way to the starboard mechanical space, but it's worth noting that there's a ton of storage under this aft day bed, and this is the perfect opportunity to point out that all the soft goods have been replaced and in really, really good condition, and they just feel like a durable quality material which will hold up the test of time. Here we've got the second mechanical space, which on this size houses the water maker, air conditioning chillers, and the second D3 150, as I already mentioned, paired to folding props. We've also got storage here on the outboard side. We've got another capstan, and this is the freshwater washdown, which is perfectly placed just above the dive ladder. I love the cockpit on the Lagoon 620. You've heard me say it for years on the videos we've done. This is one of the most important places in any catamaran, in my opinion. The thing that I love about the cockpit on the Lagoon 620 is the daybed to starboard all the way on the outboard side. My personal favorite seat in the house. We've also got alfresco dining for 8 on the starboard side. Underneath the cockpit dining table seating, we also have additional storage and storage overhead. And then adjacent to that, we have the wet bar. Now, something nice about the wet bar on Sailaway that we don't see on a lot of 620s is the fact that they supplemented the ice maker by adding a second ice maker, and we still have the cockpit refrigerator that's expected on a boat in this class. We're gonna make our way up to the flybridge, but it's worth pointing out the Dometic cold storage here to supplement all of the built-in cold storage on board Sailaway. There's plenty of grab rails making it very secure coming up here, even in a large sea state. We're gonna begin up here on the forward portion of the flybridge, and I love the fact that in the Lagoon 620, you've got the daybed forward, which not only puts you in the action, but because the cushions are in an actual well, it feels incredibly secure. And the fact that they've added this bolster in the aft portion really makes it a very comfortable seating area. Just after the daybed, we have Raymarine repeaters for the electronics, as well as banks of clutches on both the starboard and port side, and all powered Harken electric winches, making this a very easy boat for a crew of 2 to sail. On the port side, we have a drink refrigerator, which is the perfect place to keep cold waters, beers, and wine. And over here on the starboard side, we have a nice settee with storage below. We're gonna make our way over to the port helm, which is the primary helm station on board Sailaway. So here at the helm, I mean, you've heard me say this in other Lagoon 620 videos, but your lines of sight from this space are exceptional, not only for being under sail, but also close quarter maneuvering with the ability to see the transom over here, or if you're backing up starboard side too, you've got good lines of sight from over there as well. On the outboard side, we've got the Volvo controls as well as the displays just below that. And just outboard of that, we have a series of rocker switches which control lighting as well as bilge pumps and a few other systems on board the boat. At the helm itself, we have a quick windlass control as well as a bank of Raymarine tri-data displays. At the starboard helm, we have mirroring Raymarine electronics as well as another set of Volvo throttles and displays and the E-perb mounted. And then centerline, we have an articulating nav pod, which houses the Raymarine chart plotter, giving you excellent visibility from either helm. The bimini top for the flybridge was also recently replaced, and it has a full isinglass enclosure. After a long day on the water, coming through the zero threshold entry into the salon is a perfect retreat after being in the sun, rain, or whatever Mother Nature throws at you. And on Sailaway with the galley up layout, there are still more than adequate places to lounge around. On the starboard side, we have a large L-shaped settee. We currently have it set up as a dining table, although the leaves do fold in, and there are 2 coffee tables that will raise up and down. Outside of that, we also have storage above that settee. And directly across from it, we have a high-low television, which is the perfect place to sit and watch that TV with surround sound after a long day on the water. So just port of the center line of the boat, we have this large galley with more than ample counter space. Starting all the way here on the forward edge, we've got a washing machine, we've got a dishwasher, plenty of storage. On the outboard side, we also have cold storage, a 5-burner cooktop with an oven down below, and additional storage up top, as well as just outboard of the galley. And then rounding out the salon, centerline forward, we have the nav station, which, as we've talked about in other Lagoon 620 videos, one of the best nav stations in class. We've got the Fusion stereo all the way to starboard. We have the Raymarine chart plotter, a couple of Raymarine tri-data displays, the E-Plex display, as well as a remote control for the Raymarine autopilot. There's also ample storage on the shelf on either starboard or port, as well as below the countertop and in the nav station itself. Just starboard of the helm station, we have the electrical distribution center on board the boat with remote starts for the generator, as well as all of the main AC fuses, as well as other breakers. The beauty in a 6-cabin layout is the versatility. This is an excellent layout not only for a large family, but the way the current owner utilizes it in a crude yacht charter program, this layout makes a ton of sense. Like I said, it's a 6-cabin layout, so we have 5 guest cabins and a crew bunk room. Port forward, we have the first of 5 guest staterooms on board Sailaway. This cabin has an athwartship semi-walk-around queen-size berth with ample storage adjacent to the berth, as well as a hanging locker. And as you continue forward from this stateroom, we have the first ensuite head to be found on board. Continuing our way aft in the companionway here, a couple of noteworthy features. First is this full-size fridge freezer in the hallway, giving the crew more than adequate cold storage for a 7-day charter or for longer extended passages, which they've done on this boat. Adjacent to that refrigerator is access to the crew head, which is really nice. As somebody that's run boats, having a dry head for a crew cabin is really a luxury. Continuing aft from the crew head, we have 2 bunk beds with plenty of storage underneath the bunk beds, a workstation adjacent to that where the captain can handle all of his administrative work, as well as storage aft of that. And just like all of the staterooms on board Sail Away, the space is flooded with natural light. And keep in mind now, they run this boat when they're on charter with a crew of 3. And like we already showed you on the exterior, the port forward forepeak is set up as an air-conditioned crew quarters. Continuing aft from the crew cabin is the first of 2 VIP staterooms to be found on board Sail Away. This is a hallmark feature of the Lagoon 620. These large windows aft, as well as on the outboard side, just floods the space with natural light, really giving the impression that it's a much larger and much roomier space than it would be had they not included these large openings. In this first VIP stateroom, the berth is also a walk-around athwartship berth. Like all of the guest staterooms on board the boat, another reason that this layout really lends itself well to crude yacht charter, because everybody ends up with an equal-sized cabin, some of them just slightly nicer than the others, particularly the VIP. Making our way across the bridge deck to the starboard hull aft, we have the second VIP, which is identical to what we saw on the port side. That means if you're running a multi-generational charter with grandma, grandpa, mom and dad, and kids, there's really 2 primary staterooms on board the boat, which is just a nice thing when nobody's having to fight over the nice cabin. If we head aft, we get to the midship cabin, which, as I mentioned, all the berths on this boat are athwartship walk-around queen-size berths, and we've also got a head on the outboard side. And then continuing our way forward from there, we get to the 5th and final guest stateroom on board Sail Away, which is identical to what we saw over on the port side. On behalf of myself and the rest of the team at Catamaran Central, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time on board Sail Away with us today. There's nothing I would love more than to schedule a private viewing here in the beautiful Virgin Islands on board. So if you're interested in taking a look at her, definitely shoot me an email, leave a comment down below. And if you love coming sailing with us, definitely hit the subscribe button and ring the bell.